Good day, everyone. My name is Ikennaemmanuel Sagas, a journalist from Imo State.
Her name is Ikennaemmanuel Sagas, a journalist from Imo State. Put your hands together for her. Yes.
Step up.
I am not a regular.
I will never be regular women in Jesus' name. My name is Ikennaemmanuel. I am a reporter. I am a journalist in Imo State here. Thank you very much.
All right, put your hands together.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Tochi Onyubi. I'm a journalist in Imo State. I'm also a development worker.
She's a development worker. Put your hands together. All right. What did you study in school, ma?
I studied political science.
You studied political science. So, why did you decide to move into journalism?
Okay. It's a long story.
Just make it short.
But I have to start from somewhere. I come from a family where our parents decided, in quotes, to choose professions for us. So I read political science and I was not really satisfied with it actually. So I decided to change. I decided to read what I know would benefit me more. I'm not trying to say political science isn't good though. It is very, very good. But I feel I am doing much better practicing as a journalist than I would have if I had remained as a political scientist alone.
All right, put your hands together. Were there people who actually read the course you read, it was because you did it for your father? Yeah. Anybody here? Oh, talk to me, respond to me. Anybody here? Me. The course I read was not, I didn't read it because I loved it. I just read it because that was what was just there. But somehow I began to move around. I'm still moving around. And I'm getting to focus on a particular area. So you find out that she was the one that actually read the course that she never wanted to do. She did for her father. But today she decided to make some deviations. So please, can we know the course you studied?
I am Ikennaemmanuel Sagas. I read computer science for my father. My dad is Nelen. He's an accountant, to be precise. He's a man that wants it that all of his children must be educated. But it has to be science courses. Okay. So when I had my first degree in computer science, I found out that that is not what I want. I want a situation whereby I can interact with people. I can move around and find out what people need. As in, be able also to solve some people's problem. Not when I'll just sit in a confined room doing research for a particular science project or whatever. So when I came out, to tell you the truth, my dad didn't spend a dime on my journalism course. When I left the house and said I want to change my course, everybody was like, "What are you trying to do? There's a job already for you. You can go for it." I said, "That is not what I want. The life is mine." I said that you have every right to make your own choice. I told my dad that even though biologically you have the right to tell me things that I have to do, but the life is mine. I am the person who is living the life, not you. I choose what I feel that can be conducive and convenient for me.
All right, put your hands together for that. She read what? Computer science. And then she discovered that she had this passion to interact with what? People. One of the things I said, the first thing I said when it has to do with stepping up is that you must make sure that you find your purpose and then make choices towards your what? Okay. Oh, talk to me. Make choices towards your what? Your purpose. Until you find that you will not be able to step up in that direction. All right.
Okay. I will deviate a little because personally, growing up, my dad has been a very supportive person. Supportive father. I grew up reading a lot of books, reading a lot of novels. To an extent, I never read my academic books. So everybody assumed I was going to study law. But when we got to senior class, and everybody is either you're to study law or you're to study medicine, you want to buy JAMB, everybody is either is law, medicine. And I found out that I became fascinated by countries. I got fascinated by people, culture, and wanting to know people's new way of life. That was how I stumbled on studying history and international studies. So I went for my first degree in history and international studies at Imo State University, and then subsequently went for my PGD in journalism. Then gradually ended up working as a development person.
I don't like you people today. Didn't you like this presentation? Clap your hands now. See, some of you are just wondering, hey, look at the way she's talking. Look at the way she's talking. I can actually speak like that. How is it that this person is talking the way she's talking? Oh my God, she's just like a person that I need to be like. Oh, guess what? I'm having cold shivers right away. What are you guys talking about here? You know, one thing is that what we're doing, Dr. Onye, is that we're practically trying to pull women out of, our culture. Even the church has actually pushed women back into the backside of life. And what we're doing practically is to I'm talking with these powerful women here. I never discuss with them what I'm going to ask them. And I'm just bringing them up stage, making sure. So if I call you, you're going to come up. So just make sure that you don't relax. Because if I call you, you're going to be here and 5,000 people are watching you already. Okay, put your hands together for those wonderful people. Okay, let me just ask you this question. Can you explain to us in 1 minute 2 things you can actually do better if you become the president of this country as a woman?
Okay, thank you very much. Recently, we saw the news about NAS rejecting the bill against women.
What is NAS?
National Assembly.
I have to ask NAS because people think that is one Cedillac. Some people think that NAS is another milk that they're going to give children, because most people don't understand what is NAS. Somebody just got information now that NAS is not a new set of milk for children or another sanitary pad for women. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so not because I am a woman, but because I am a believer of humanity. I believe that everybody should have equal opportunities due them. So we wouldn't know the reason why they accepted every other bills and then decided to knock off that. So if I am in a position to create that level of change, that is one position I would want to. A position where I make sure there is change and I create impact in the system.
So if you become the president of this country now, 2 things you think you can actually do. President, at least a national senator or House of Rep member.
Yes, help women leverage on their power and their might as women. Help them step up to political positions, and as well as create the needed change from every girl child.
Come on, put your hands together for that. Did you get the last statement that Dr. Onye made? Dr. Please, can you rephrase that long English that you just made? She was making a statement that she said that, let me just find her words exactly, where she said that it is important that we create a lot of leadership leverages for women, that she's always excited when she goes to the police station and sees a commissioner of police that is a woman and all that. So until we create that environment where we find women become a part of the leadership system, our primary focus, the primary focus of our church is not just to gather people that clap hands and walk out. The primary focus of our church is to see that we have women, men and women who can actually represent effectively. And I want to let you know that if a woman becomes the president of this country, how many of you believe that this country can be better? Yeah. How many of you believe that this country can be better? Because insanity is doing a particular thing over and over and expecting a different result. We have had men all this while since 1960. Let's try women. That's what I said, and one man called me a feminist. Please, what can you do better if you have that opportunity?
The roles of women in a society can never be overemphasized. There are so many things that women can do. If I'm given the opportunity to be the president of Nigeria, there is something I'm going to do. I am a woman, and I am going to make policies that would benefit my gender. And what are those benefits? There are some cultures that militate against women. There are some traditions that are being practiced that are not in support of womanhood. We heard about the female genital mutilation we hear about child abuse, we hear about molestation, we hear about harassment in homes and all that. And many a times, some people shy away from speaking up because when they do, many a times people don't believe them, especially in the issue of rape. Sometimes people are scared, or will I say, not really scared per se, but they feel when they air their views, a lot of persons will not believe them. So they, rather than speak up, they die in silence. So if I'm made the president tomorrow, I'm going to look into all this. I'm going to ensure that all those policies, all those cultural practices, all those traditional practices that do not support women, I will make sure that they are well looked into, and anyone that I can abolish, I will do that so that women would always have a say in the society.
I thought I was going to hear you put your hands together. Come on, put your hands together for her. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone that is watching us online, you're just live on, this is the 10th edition of the International Women's Leadership Conference holding in Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria, West Africa. And this is the International Center for Leadership, Diplomacy, and Economic Development. And today we are just focusing on step up. And we just got a mantra that said, I am not a regular woman. So when I shout step up, you say, I am not a regular woman. Step up.
I am not a regular woman.
I thought I was going to hear women. Step up.
I am not a regular woman.
Your voice is actually what actually determines your advancement. When I shout step up, lift up your hands and say, I'm not a regular woman. Step up.
I am not a regular woman.
So we're here to make sure that we create this environment. Please, can we hear you if you're given that opportunity?
Step up.
I am not a regular woman.
If I am given the opportunity of being the president of this noble country, the first thing that I will have to do is to make mothers be mothers. Because there are so many mothers that are not mothers because of what people, the world, will say. And again, I will also change the mindset of that if you have a woman, you don't have a child. For me, if you have a woman, you have the nation. If you have a son, you have a home. Just a home. Again.
I didn't hear you. Just go through that again.
I said for me, for my own understanding,
yes.
If you have a girl child, you have the nation. If you have a male child, what you have is just a home and a room.
You didn't? Somebody just left the church. Somebody left this auditorium now. Because he has 2 children. If you have a what? A woman, you have a nation. If you have a man, you have a room. And you have a home. Come on. Step up!
I'm not a regular woman.
I know that they will stone me after this one. No problem. I am ready for the trouble. Because one is that, you see, it's very important we understand. Are we wasting your time? Oh, talk to me. Are we wasting your time? I decided to step into the system so that we can actually understand what we're saying. Please, before I allow them to go back to their seats, and I'll ask other set of people to come over. Please, can you give us an example of, or a kind of one incident that you had a conflict with a man, and how you were able to, you had a conflict with a man and he wanted to suppress you, and then he wanted to take advantage of you, and how you were able to come out of that and made your progress. Let me start from you again. Just one example.
Okay, a typical example is what happened in 2019.
Please listen. You know, most of the times we go to conferences, my angel, we go to conferences, we go to conferences where they speak to women, they speak to you, you copy note and you walk out. But you find out that when people share their experiences, most of the times you learn from the what? Experiences. Okay, please.
Okay, 2019, I won't call you hooked, but I was introduced to a man who came back from London and said he wanted, a widower in short, and said he wanted to marry a young girl. So my mom's elder brother introduced us. Out of respect, I went. I really do not like introductions. But when we got in the course of the relationship, I started seeing some red flags, and one major key that made me move away was when he told me that if I marry you and take you to London, forget anything about career. it didn't sit well with me because I was like,
Did you hear that? He didn't what? Did you understand that word? That something does not sit well with you. What does it mean? They say, it didn't vibrate. It didn't resonate in my thinking. Yes.
I was like, I only met you for a few months. I've had my father support me for years and never tried to limit me. And only few months of meeting you, you tried to limit me. In fact, that was one of the major reasons I walked out on that relationship and I never looked back again. Right now, I'm happy with my decision and I'm very, very happy that contraption never happened.
Come on, put your hands together. You know why we're doing? Please, all the men, I am still a man. I will always be happy to be a man. But you know what? Today we are trying to bring down some walls. How could somebody come from UK? If the person is coming from my village, from Umese a human ban, no? Or the person is coming from Umelemai. If the person is coming from that, but this person came from UK. I'm telling a young, vibrating and intelligent young lady, once you move over to UK, we forget about what? But you know that some of you will get a suggestion. Some of you, they will tell you life is all about money. That life is not about career. Travel over that place and make money. Come and take care of your parents and all the rest of them. How many of you have had people like that? We are changing the paradigm. That's wrong. Put your hands together for her. That was wonderful. All right.
Thank you very much. There's something about men. People like us that are not big, that have small frame, they'll try to undermine us. But forgetting that we know...
Am I part of them?
Forgetting,
Go ahead.
Forgetting that at times...
Small body
no be sickness.
Small body, big engine.
So many a times when people look at me, they want to take undue, in quote, advantage of me, not knowing that I know what I am worth and I know where I am headed to. What am I trying to say? This is a church and this is a program for mature minds. So what am I saying in earnest? There's this young man I met sometime. I'm not married. I've had lots of suitors come, but it is not getting married that is the problem. It is getting married and being comfortable and happy in that home. My parents are married and happily married for 45 years, and they are still alive. So never for one day.
I don't like you. I don't like the way you clap your hands. Yeah.
Never for one day did my mom take her belongings back to her parents for any issue of my parents were having issues and all that. No. So I wouldn't be the one that would now do such. So it's better for me to shine my eye very well before indulging in anything called marriage. What am I trying to say? I met a young man sometime. He was like, every time, Choma, you have to come to the house. We have to see. I said, there's nothing bad in getting to see or getting to know you, but something must lead to something. I believe in bring your friend to the house. As an adult, I also believe that whatever I am doing, people close to me or my family member must know what is happening. But he was of the opinion that why should I always get to tell people my whereabouts, get people involved in what I'm doing and all that. I told him, you know that people are getting missing on a daily basis. I don't know your plan. I don't know where you want to take me to. I am not big. You can put me in one bag and carry me and go. Praise God. So he will now felt that I am kind of not trying to yield to what he was trying to say and all that. I now told him, if you're not comfortable with my views, you can get out. And I move. God is God, and at the right time, the one who is meant for me will definitely come.
Come on, put your hands together.
I know who I am. I know the stuff I'm made of. I know I'm Nanja here. Praise the Lord.
Step up! Anybody missing here? You're missing. Step up! So it's important you understand this. I'm talking to several women that are watching us and everyone here. Please, if I can talk for 8 hours. But it wouldn't make any sense until we have a feel of people who have actually gone through some things. I'm going to call 3 people out here now. So just pray that you're not the one. All right. Please just give us one practical example.
Step up.
I am not people should give Dr. Onyedi a serious amount of money for this. Step up. Look at the way you're looking at me.
I am the kind that believe that women are born warriors, while men are taught how to be warriors. I will use a case study in
you are not clapping your hands. Women are born what? Warriors. And men are taught to be what?
Warriors.
All right, go ahead.
I use my community as a case study. I am from Ikennaemmanuel to be precise.
How many of you know Maho?
Sometime 2008, there was series of killing in my community, and my house was attacked as well. So I was just moving around the community. The men, our king's men, saw me and was like discussing that my dad didn't have a child that can challenge them. Before me, I am this man's first daughter, and you're telling me before me that my dad didn't have a child that can challenge anybody. So I turned around and looked at our essay. Did you say that my dad didn't have a child? This is a man that is with 6 children, and you're saying that he didn't have a child. He said this. I said, 8 boys came to my house to shoot. If by the end of 2 months, I didn't get all of them and hand them over to the police, then tell the world that my dad had no child. Because I was joking. These are we caught boys that know how to touch the tree. I didn't care. What I did is just to come to my dad and say, see, I want to get involved in this particular matter. Even when it looks as if it's politics in the village, I don't care. But this man has challenged me to the brim. And I am the kind that believes that if you push me to the wall, I cannot stand there to die. I will turn around and hit to stay alive. So what I did is just to call my brothers and say, are you ready for this battle? They said no, that they are not interested. It is only one of my younger sisters that helped me. I apprehended these 8 boys and put them behind bars.
You're not standing for her. You're not look at your head. Step up! You're still sitting down. Step up! Look at the way you're sitting there. Step up! If it was you rush to the altar, Daddy, come and pray for me. I like this kind of people.
So what am I trying to say? That thing that a man can do, a woman can do it 100 times without shaking. In my community, what they call me now is a man. Look at that. She took after her father. She doesn't want to get married. It doesn't remove anything from my body. I am who I am today. Nobody puts food on my table. I feed myself. I do whatever thing I feel like doing that is worth doing. So you don't tell me what to do. Until tomorrow, the boys, even when they are among the people who escaped, they called me and said, I apprehended in 2008. Do you think that after staying there 13 years, you can get at me? You can't. One of them called me recently. I said, I should watch my back. I said, everybody's back is already open. If you felt that you can.
Did you hear me say, watch your back? Everybody's back is what?
Everybody's back is open. Is anything covering your back? No. Everybody's back is open. So why would I watch
check
my
your back? Check your back. Is your back covered? Everybody's back is what? Listen. We're not trying to make you violent. But you know what it is that? Please listen to me. Very, very important. Most of the time, people walk into programs and they just walk. There are people who are not here today. I've seen a lot of women being humiliated. They arrest your husband and all you're doing is crying.